All right, so this is Chapter 3 review question number 11, and it says, a bush pilot delivers supplies. So a bush pilot, someone who flies a plane into, like, maybe far northern Saskatchewan, right? They're flying in, maybe on a float plane or something like that. They land on the water with the big kind of, pontoon skis. You've seen those planes. So it's going to a remote camp by flying. So here's our distance, 255 kilometers in this direction. So this is important. And again, what you want to remember is that north is straight up and down. So he's flying from some starting point. He's going to go north 52 degrees east. So here's north, and guess what? Here's east. So north, he's going to go 52 degrees towards the east, which is going to end up right about, let's say this. It doesn't have to be exact, but you want to kind of ballpark, right? It's pretty accurate. So this is 255 kilometers. That's the length of this segment that's described. Everybody good with that? Okay. While at the camp, the pilot receives a radio message to pick up a passenger at a village. The village is 85 kilometers in this direction from the camp. So from this point now, he's got to go south and 21 degrees towards the east. So again, here's your directions from this point: north, east, south, west. So he's going to go south and then 21 degrees towards the east. So something about here. Okay, that's a bit exaggerated. That's not as big as 21 degrees might be, but something like that. And 85. So notice this is 255. This is 85, so it's quite a bit shorter. All right, that's maybe not exact, but pretty close, eh? So we've got these two pieces, and we can determine some angles here, which we will in a minute. What's the question say? What's the total distance to the nearest kilometer that the pilot will have flown by the time he returns to his starting point? Okay, so now this is a different type question. Most of the questions are like, how far is he away from his starting point? Boom, what's this length? That's not the question. So the question says, what's the total, well, actually, is it? What's the total distance to the nearest the pilot will have flown by the time? Oh, he returns. So we need to find this, but this is not the final answer, but we need to find this length so we can add all of these lengths together. That's what this question is saying. The total distance, so 255 plus 85 plus, you got to find that spot. Okay, so let's figure out some angles that are associated here, because I got two sides. To find this side of this triangle now, which angle should I try and determine specifically? Does it matter, do you think, or?
The one between two angles.
Yeah, the one between 255 and 85. This would be nice to have, because then it could use, looks like cosine law, right?
Yeah.
Because I'd have a side, angle, side. Okay, so now, this is the tricky part. Now I have to figure out what angle this is. And this is the last thing I'll do to let you guys finish this, but let me help you with this one. So what angle do I know? North, 52 degrees east. So this is 52. These two dotted lines here and here are parallel. So does it make sense that this is also 52, this little piece right here? Everyone see that? If that's 52, this is 52. But the angle of this triangle also includes this little piece. So do I know what this little piece is? 21 degrees south towards the east, so this is actually 21. So the triangle becomes, and I'll just redraw the triangle down here, a little bit larger. The triangle becomes 255, 85, and 73. Now this is not clearly to scale, because that looks like an obtuse angle, but that's 73 degrees, okay? So that means if I were to draw this a little bit more accurately, it would be something like this, okay? So we want to find out this one, and then your answer is going to be 255 plus 73 plus whatever it is that you determine this side to be, okay? Okay, now that's, you're about 3/4 there at least, 75% to the answer. So does that help? First of all, do you understand now what everything I've said? Does that look right to you? Do you have any other questions, Josh, about that?
How did you get like the 52 and the 21 like that?
Okay, how did I get this 73? So once again, what we know from the directions are that this 255 kilometer part is a north 52 degrees west bearing, okay, flight path. And so I know that this is 52 degrees right here, this angle right here. So because this is parallel with this line right here, because they're both the north lines, then that means that this is a transversal. And so this angle, 52, has to equal this angle. And that's the first part of your 73 angle. Does that make sense? So this is like an imaginary vertical line that we've got on our diagram, but it's still, that piece you know is 52. So the next one, the next direction is south 21 degrees east. So that picks it up from here and it goes towards the east. So we know this is 21 right there. So that means that this whole angle right here is 52 plus 21. That's where I get my 73. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else wondering about any part of this question? Okay, I'll give you a few minutes. Those of you that haven't done this one yet, I'll give you some time to finish this. Please finish it. And then I'll show you the answer up on the screen, okay? And we'll see how close you've gotten. All right, so here's the answer to number 11. The third side should be 244.08 kilometers. To the nearest kilometer, the total distance when added up together should be 584 kilometers. So there's the entire question. You can see it all at once if you need to.
It's just like,